Hey everybody, it's Joe with Joe Knows Cryptos here with a daily video update. And today I want to talk about why crypto, especially coins like Bitcoin and Litecoin, will win in the end. It's just a matter of time. So basically it comes down to just the way that money, that fiat versus crypto, how they're made and how they're valued. When you have something like fiat currency, dollars that are printed out, not just in America, but any country's currency, that aren't backed by anything, that are controlled by a central banking system and by a Federal Reserve system, that they can just be printed out limitlessly. There is an unlimited amount of dollars that can be put into circulation. And the reason for this is to devalue the dollar, which does a few things. One, it makes companies' revenue increase year over year by 3% from inflation. So, for example, if your company made good smelling things for your car, and you sold them for $1, and every year you sold 1,000. Just to keep math simple, 100. That means every year you made $100, right? If you sold them for $1 and you sold 100 a year. But now inflation is 3% a year. Sometimes it's 5%. So now the cost of this goes up to $1.03. So now when they sell 100, they've now made $100.30. So their revenue just increased 30 cents, which is good for their stockholders, and that's what, people like to see. But in reality, you're not really making any more money because your money is just worth less. It can buy less products, less things. So in a system where money is unlimited and can constantly be printed out, it constantly loses value. It's bad for the consumers and for the people, because unless their pay increases, which it has not been, at least not at a 3% rate. My parents bought their first house for like $30,000, and they sold it for over $300,000, and their pay didn't increase, that percentage. So now you take something like Bitcoin or Litecoin, where there's a limited number of coins that have to be mined, they have to be produced. What happens is, as fiat constantly loses value, on the other end, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Litecoin, will constantly gain value. Now, it may not be as fast as we may like it to, although I believe that it will be fast when the time is right. But let's just say that, just to keep math simple, there's 100 people that buy Bitcoin and Litecoin every month, and every month they buy, what equals to, just say, 1 million, let's just say 1 Bitcoin. And that's 100 people, they all pitch in, some pitch in 1,000, some pitch in a couple hundred, whatever. But the 100 people end up buying 1 Bitcoin and they hold it. They don't sell it. Every year that they buy a Bitcoin, the number of Bitcoin become less and less and less. Whereas fiat, it just is more and more and more. Now, as Bitcoin becomes less and less and less, it's more scarce. It's not as available. And as it basically comes down to supply and demand. So as there's less Bitcoin, and even if it's still just the same 100 people for the next 20 years doing this, just by them alone buying Bitcoin at the same rate they've been doing and holding it, it will bring up the price of Bitcoin, a very small amount every year, but it will bring it up. And I think that people are going to start to realize this also, but I just wanted to spell it out step by step about how holding holding fiat, and people go and they hoard money and they put it in their savings account and their checking account or a CD, and they don't make anything on it. You know, by the time you add inflation and taxes and you know, bad investments and things like that on top of it, you're losing money in fiat. With Bitcoin, if you just put it in there and you hold it year after year, the natural progression eventually is higher prices for Bitcoin and Litecoin and the like. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about XRP, since that was the main news article yesterday or the day before, being listed on Coinbase. So it had a slight pump in the beginning. I think it was up about 10%, and then it just ended up being, I think it was actually down by the end of the day, or up like 2%. Very, very, very minor. And, you know, I know there's a lot of people out there that love XRP. XRP gets a lot of hype. It has a lot of partnerships with banks. And in the short term, those partnerships are good. As long, but the thing is, you're not going to make a lot of money in XRP unless cryptocurrencies take off relatively soon. And I'm talking in the next year or so, generally speaking. Because what's going to happen is, you've already seen JP Morgan coin. Now they've got their coin. So their need for Ripple or for XRP has now been eliminated. So any bank that's affiliated with JP Morgan will not partner with XRP because they are going to use JP Morgan coin. So what happens when Chase has their own coin, and Bank of America has their own coin, and Wells Fargo has their own coin, and all the banks have their own coin? Eventually they're just going to forget about Ripple. They are not going to need Ripple. And that's basically all the partnership. Sorry guys, got a phone call right in the middle of recording on my camera, on my phone, so it shut me off there. But yeah, basically, so if Ripple can't make a run here soon, as these banks start coming up with their own cryptocurrencies, they're going to start dropping Ripple. You know, if their partnership is for a year or for 2 years, or just a partnership based on, you know, we'll use Ripple for as long as we need it. Once they start coming up with their own cryptocurrencies, and I know you're probably going to argue that, you know, Ripple's speed is faster and cheaper and all that, but you know, a lot of times with these coins that aren't mined, and this is why coins that aren't mined, another reason why they're not as valuable as coins that need to be mined, is their code can just be copied and pasted, and they can make, you know, some modifications to it, and basically, you know, they've got a cryptocurrency that functions you know, similar to what Ripple would. I mean, it may not be as good, but do you think they're going to care if they're going to benefit instead of having XRP benefit? So I just want you guys to think about that. I know, talk about DigiByte real quick too, because I was watching a video the other day where they were talking about DigiByte, and a guy who was really technical, who really, something just happened with my phone there. So a guy that was really technical and really knew a lot about how these cryptocurrencies are built and how long their blocks are, and he was talking about DigiByte, and he holds DigiByte, but he had some problems with it, and the problems were had to do with the length of the block size. And what exactly did he say? Because I don't want to say the wrong thing here. But it was something that was going to cause a problem in the future with speed, and if with not speed, then with the transactions being guaranteed to be delivered to the source that they were supposed to be sent to. And that can be a major problem for DigiByte unless they correct it. I'm sure they know about it, and I'm sure they're working on correcting it. But people that hold DigiByte, I want you to just look into that further. Maybe you know more about it than what I'm just mentioning here. But I think if they do something where they try to speed up transactions, it's going to affect the guaranteed that payments are going to go through. Now, most of them will, but every now and again there will be one that won't. But hey, if you're dealing with people's money, that's not good. If you're dealing with companies that want to use cryptos to alleviate hassles and make things easier, that's not something that they're going to like to hear if they're thinking about partnering with DigiByte, or consumers in general when they have the choice to use DigiByte or something else. Is that going to be a problem for them? I hope not, because DigiByte is a mined cryptocurrency and it's decentralized, and they're very decentralized, so I hope they can work that out. And like I said, if you know more about it than what I'm mentioning, please comment down below. I also want to talk about Litecoin. You'll notice Litecoin, you know, the market has been very stale, staying right at about 130 billion in market cap. But Litecoin it's holding. It's actually gaining slightly here and there. It's not really losing, giving up any of the ground. You know, it did lose the ground when it was up to 52 when the market dropped that one day. But from there, I think it went down to about 44. It's crept back up to 46, even though the market has stayed about the same. I'm really liking Litecoin right now. I hear they have some surprise partnerships in the works. I hear they're going to be sponsoring a Korean concert venue. They also have a partnership now with, not with the, gosh, how do I put this? All right, so you know how there's like UFC fighting? There's a group involved with UFC who has merchandise and has like teams of different fighters and things like that, and they're going to be using Litecoin exclusively for premier merchandise and for premier tickets and for premier events. Meaning, if you want to buy this merchandise or go to these events or these meet and greets or whatever, you will not be able to use fiat currency to go to them. You're going to have to use Litecoin. Guys, that's, you know, it's not a huge thing, but it's just another thing. You know, Litecoin is just gaining popularity. And, you know, things may seem slow in the beginning, but I just want you to think about two lines that are going parallel to each other, right? They're just going the same for infinite amount of time. But what happens if you vary the angle of one of the lines just a slight bit? In the beginning, it doesn't make much difference, but over time, it makes the difference adds up, especially if more people start adding on and doing more with it. You know, Litecoin is, I think, been picked by, I don't want to say like it's been picked by like authorities to be one of the feature premier currencies of the future, but I have a feeling, I have a hunch that it is, and not in a bad way, because I do like that Litecoin is decentralized and that it's also looking to do have privacy features, which I think is good for the consumer and is good for Litecoin. So, guys, I'm getting near 15 minutes here. That's going to be my video for the day. Thank you for everybody who subscribed recently. If you want me to talk more basic things about getting into cryptocurrency, because I know, you know, maybe there's a lot of people that are still new to cryptocurrencies, and some things I talk about they may not understand. I try to keep it kind of simple, but yeah, just anytime you guys want to drop a comment about anything, I'm too boring, I need to liven it up, whatever you think it is, you know, whatever reason that you wouldn't like my channel, or whatever reason that you like my channel, both comments are appreciated. But all new subscribers, thank you so much, I appreciate it. Give me a like, a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and kiss your wife, kiss your girlfriend, hug your kids, pet your pets. Joe Knows Cryptos. God bless. Bye now.